Do you work out?
Yeah.
Sorry, I know you got 1 hour, but I really need to touch on this again.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I do what they call high intensity training once a week for maybe 10, 15 minutes. So it was scientists and a doctor that put it together, but a bunch of people put it together actually. And it's actually not what a lot of people think it is. Like they need to work out a lot, 5, 6, 7 days a week to get fit or running or all that. All I do is for 10 minutes once a week, let's just say if I'm doing a bicep curl, I'll take a weight and I'll go 10 to 15 seconds up until I hit a contraction in my strongest point, and then 10 to 15 seconds down until I hit muscular failure. And what that does is it stimulates the body. Really, when we work out, we're going for a stimulus to stimulate your muscle and your cardiovascular system. And you don't need to train hours and hours to stimulate the body at all. So even when you're doing, I don't know, let's just say you're doing a bench press, you just go as slow as you possibly can, 10 seconds up, never lock out, 10 seconds down into the muscles. Literally, if someone put a gun to your head, you could not lift the weight at all. And then you just set it down. It takes maybe each exercise takes about 45 seconds to hit the failure point. That's what I've been doing for a few years now. Actually, I started it, had to be 3 to 4 years actually now. I've been doing that once a week. A lot of people have the misconception, like I said, that you need to train a lot. When you train for an hour for 5 days a week, what are you really doing in that training? You're trying to stimulate the muscle. And so a lot of people would go, they would do a set, but then they won't really stimulate. They'll do a set, they won't hit failure, they'll put the weight down, check their phone, wait a minute, 2 minutes, let's do another. But you could condense that all into 45, 60 seconds in one set. And then the body stimulate it, you move on and you go to the next thing. And you'll end up hitting all of the, what they call it is muscle motor units. So it's in a sequence. And typically people just don't go the full sequence to failure. And so therefore they're not stimulating all of the fibers within their body. It's like fasting. So I eat like once a day, pretty much. So very rare that I eat twice. And then sometimes I'll periodically go once every other day, I'll eat something. And it's the same thing if we go back into how the body is designed. It's designed to fast and then eat. And the same thing with the body. We could train all the time, but real training, you don't have to train much at all. And if you want to, you stimulate, and then that's pretty much it. I mean, through fasting and through working out once a week, I think I'm pretty an example that you could do it for years now. I've been fasting for years now. So it's not a routine. It's just an everyday thing. It's just once a day I'll eat, and the rest of the day I'll drink like this. This is salt water. Basically, it's just water. I try to alkaline it. I will speak words to it. I'll put words underneath it, whether if that's a certain hormone or something like that I need, and I'll just program restructure the water. It's what we were doing back in the past, reprogramming water, restructuring water. That's the original form of baptism, which is the structuring of water. You put water into yourself. What you speak to yourself, your cells will reprogram. So within this thing, you have the salt thing, how you crunch the salt. So there's about 30 twists in there of salt. And so I'll drink that throughout the day. And then maybe around 5, 6, 7 o'clock, I'll eat for the first time. If you believe that you are I'm going to starve, or I'm going to lose my health. If I do what you're saying, Darius, I'm going to lose my health and I'm going to starve and do this and whatever, I'm going to lose this. Then even if you're doing all the right things, your belief still overrides even all the right things that you're doing. It's like even the chronic healer, the individual that is focused on healing themselves because they think there's something wrong with them, even though they're eating perfectly healthy and doing everything in their life perfectly, they still get sick because the belief is still there to heal something, and they're self-manifesting things within their body due to their spoken word to be healed, and they're constantly in this healing crisis. It's a loop. It's a constant loop. So me, I know that I don't need all this food, and nor do I need all this training in order to be in optimal health. And so the will and the belief that you have also dictates the body, because to even go further than that, there's also another study done to prove what I'm saying. They set up a group in a scientific study where they said, think about working out, think about contracting the muscles. And they had a group that did that, just thought about working out and contracting as hard as they can in their mind, mentally thinking of what they were doing, and a group that worked out as well, that physically worked out. The ones that just thought about it, the muscles still were stimulated as if they were working out. Not to the degree of working out, but the body was still stimulating the muscle just through the very belief and the thought of thinking of it. We're so programmed and conditioned to think that these bodies need so much. Our bodies are naturally sustainable. But what happens when you eat so much, there was a study done on this to validate what I'm saying. So they had two sets of groups. You could probably put this in the description of this YouTube video. I'll send it to you. They had two sets of group. One group was doing calorie restriction. So meaning they would eat maybe 3-4 times a day or whatever, but they would reduce the calories. And then you had another group that just fasted. They didn't eat, they fasted. They had one meal a day. Sometimes, I believe in the study, sometimes they just did, maybe they did a 3-day fast or something like that. But I knew they were doing intermittent fasting to fasting, and then they would eat. What happened between these two groups, the ones that did calorie restriction, the body went into starvation mode. They actually started to lose muscle mass, muscle tone, lose weight. The people that fasted, they lost fat, but maintained their muscle tone, their muscle mass. And it's even been studied in rats as well. Once you understand the blueprint of the body, when you stimulate the body, muscle is very important. Once you stimulate the body, you could build muscle and maintain health in a calorie deficit as long as you are stimulating the body in some way. So this is why you'll find a lot of people that, let's just say in jail, people that are in jail, they stimulate their body, but then also the hormones in the environment that they're in. Also, think about what water is. So the environment dictates how your cells express themselves. And this is why you'll get people in jail. They're very, very, the testosterone is much higher just because of the overall environment that they're in. So if you could stick yourself in an environment for health, not jail, but an environment for health, then your cells will start to reprogram themselves. And like I said, you don't need that much food, and you do not need to train as much as what you've been told you need to train at all. And if you try to do calorie restriction and you think that that's the way to go, you'll actually put your body into starvation mode. You're better off just not eating and then feasting when you want to eat something until you're just full, and then drink a lot of salt water. That will maintain your health very, very well. Because if it didn't maintain your health, I would be a toothpick. I would look very frail. I would look like I'm totally out of shape. And I know people may not believe me. I work out 10 minutes once a week. People have seen me in a public gym before. Yeah, that's what I do. Just because I understand the body. And my belief too is very strong. My will is very strong.